Hello and welcome. My name is Nisrine and I'm the design director at Harf Noon Design Studio. And today you will be joining me in your interior style diagnostic workshop. So without further ado, I'm gonna start the presentation. Let me share my screen here. Okay, let's share, play. All right. So in the next hour, we will be doing two things. We will be diagnosing your style through a quiz. So I hope you have a pen and paper handy by your side so that you can add the answers or write the answers. And then we're going to be finding out about your style and how to complement it. Now, before you can style your space, you need to get to know what you love. And why? It is because reason one, your home will suddenly feel super comfortable, so because it will look like you. Reason two, you will become a pro at shopping. Reason three, you'll be able to edit with your eyes closed. So no more mistakes in buying the wrong items or the wrong colors. And once you have the items in your space, you will be able to edit them knowing your style and what you're looking for. So in the next part, I just need you to simply answer the questions, tally your answers, so write the answers on the paper, and then we will find your style match towards the end. And I will help you find your personality counterpart so you can mix and match your styles to your heart's desire. Now, we all know that creating an aesthetically pleasing space is one of the best investments you will ever make. So congratulations on taking that first step. And now I need you to concentrate on those two questions. The first one is that you tend to like furniture with decorative curves rather than streamlined straighter lines. So think of the tables or chairs or armchairs that you have. Are they more rounded or are they more straight lines? So answer A for yes and B for no. For the second questions, you love to fill your bookshelf with lots of objects, books, and accessories. So answer yes, A for yes, and B for no. Now, if you answered yes to both, skip to questions 11 through 20. So just answer these 10 questions, 11 through 20. And if you answered no to either of the questions or both, I need you to answer questions 1 through 10. So I'm gonna give you a few seconds, to get your first two questions done. So it's either gonna be yes. If you get yes to both questions, I need you to skip to questions 11 through 20. And if you answer no to either or both, I need you to answer questions 1 through 10. Okay, so moving on, let's start with the quiz. Okay. So for the first question, the first thing you do when you get home from work is pour yourself a warm cup of tea, curl up under your blanket and sit by the window while you catch up on your favorite street style bloggers. B, hang your Celine jacket neatly in the closet, place your keys and sunglasses inside your entry console, and turn up eclectic jazz music on your Bang & Olufsen sound system. C, you don't go home, you are more likely to pursue the newest art gallery opening before meeting up with friends for a late night cocktail. D, you take your shoes off, light a few candles, and wind down by meditating. E, you put on your house slippers, pour yourself a drink, and catch on the latest in the news. And F, you hang your vintage bag on your wall hook and continue accessorizing your reclaimed wood bookshelf with your latest Dubizzle finds. So here you just have to answer A, B, C, D, or E, or F, and just write answer question 1, A, B, C, D, or F on the paper. just the letter. Moving on. So this object caught your eye at the second-hand market. A hand-woven wall hanging. B, an overscale black and white graphic print. C, a lucite stacking boxes. D, vintage calligraphy brushes. E, an iconic planter stool. And F, antique radio tubes. So A, B, C, D, E, or F. Question 3. A party at your place might look like this. A, it's lots of friends and family who are over your place to pour a few glasses of bubbly and enjoy an array of desserts before moving on to the newest discotheque. B, it's a few guests who are enjoying a sampling of skillfully cooked concoctions by your friend who just opened up a nouveau cuisine restaurant. C, it's some friends enjoying light appetizers while taking in a new art piece that you've been working on. D, only the finest fresh sushi skillfully arranged on bamboo platters, complete with jasmine green tea shots. E, a cocktail party with fine liqueurs, cigars, and plenty of Draper men and women. And F, it's opening your loft doors to anyone as long as they bring beer to the party while DJ friend spins. So A, B, C, D, E, or F. Question 4. Your favorite seat in the house would have to be A, your wishbone chair that you inherited from your grandmother and shipped to the UAE with you. And ever since you tossed a fur throw on it, it has become your happy place. B, it's sitting in your sun-soaked dining nook, the morning light that hits it just through the large floor-to-ceiling glass windows, and it warms the space just perfectly. C, your black Le Corbusier leather chair, you've had it forever and you could never get sick of its sleek lines. And your D, your teak lounger outside in your country yard, the perfect place to watch the koi as they swim around in the pond. E, your Charles Eames lounge chair and ottoman after a long day of work at the office. It's the perfect place to kick off your shoes and enjoy a good book. F is your vintage architect's bar stool. Whenever you sit there, you can't help but think about all the different people who have loved it throughout the years. Now, even if you don't have any of these, try to imagine the scenario. So you might not have the wishbone chair or the Corbusier leather chair, but you might even want it. And so just go for the scenario that best fits your dreams. Question 5. You love shopping here for your home. IKEA, A. B, I already have enough stuff. C, the modern art museum store you last traveled to. D, your favorite Japanese store, Muji. E, design within reach, so any shop that has designs or objects or items that is that you can, you have access to. And F, the Safa flea market, or any flea market for that case. Question 6. Which two colors would you want to live with for the rest of your life? A, blue and white. B, white and black. C, slate blue and burgundy. D, moss green and taupe. E, chartreuse and light peachy pink. F, stone and iron. So which of these two colors do you imagine yourself living with for the rest of your life? 7. The most likely to sit pretty on your bookshelf is, so the most likely item to sit on your bookshelf is A hand-turned blonde wood candlestick holder collection. B, I like to keep my space clean and free of clutter. C, a hand-blown glass vessel. D, a vintage glass bowl from Tibet. E, a teak serving tray. And F, your great-grandfather's gramophone. So which of these items would sit on your shelf? Again, you might not have any of these, but which one do you imagine yourself having and enjoying? Moving on, question 8. You would rather live in this city: A, Stockholm, B, Tokyo, C, Milan, D, Bali, E, Palm Springs, and F, New York City. Which of these cities do you imagine yourself or prefer to be living in? 9. Your favorite thing to do before you go to bed is to curl up in bed with a scented candle burning away. B, to read from your tablet. C, binge watch the latest Netflix series on your big screen. D, relax through meditation. E, to have a smoke for those who smoke. And F, to tinker with something, so to play with your phone or an item, to play with something before you actually go to bed. 10. Dressing up for your looks is a little like this. So it's a simple A-line dress with pockets for function, obviously. B, something structured, classic, and memorable. C, a piece that doesn't call too much attention to itself, so fitted, simple, and modest. D, anything linen, comfortable, organic, soft, and flows. E, something iconic and sexy and maybe adorned with a vintage brooch that says, come on over and chat. F, you're not one for dressing up, but you always look cool, so it's skinny jeans, a gray shirt, and a vintage brown motorcycle jacket. So which one do you imagine yourself being if you're not already dressing like that? A, B, C, D, or F? So if you had answered the first question, you only had to do 1 to 10. This is where you have to stop. But you can listen to the rest of the questions and just wait for me to give you the next instruction. Now, if you've answered no to either or both questions in the beginning, you will have to be answering questions. Sorry, if you answered yes to both questions in the beginning, you have to answer questions 11 to 20. So question 11, your ideal ride is a restored pickup. So basically an old car that has been restored. B, why ride when you can simply put your thumb out and glide? So hitchhiking. C, Volkswagen Beetle, though deep inside you would have preferred the vintage version. D, a Rolls Royce outfitted with your own driver. E, a Dodge or something that can time travel. J, a Jaguar, because it's a classic and it's beautiful. So again, you might not have any of these, but what do you imagine your ideal ride being? A, B, C, D, E, or F? Question 12. You can't get enough of this textile. A, a natural cowhide rug. B, a worn Turkish Kilimanjaro. C, an intricately detailed macrame tapestry. D, a luxurious fur pillow. E, a graphic neon pillow. F, a sumptuous cable knit throw. Which textile do you feel most at ease with and would love to have? A, B, C, D, E, or F? Question 13, your Friday morning routine looks a little like this. And we say Friday because Friday is the weekend here in the UAE, but it would be a Sunday morning or a Saturday morning if you are elsewhere in Europe or the US. So it is a walk around the new Dubai Canal if you're living in Dubai, or a waterfront wherever in the world. A visit to Ripe Market, which is like an all goods market that we have here in Dubai. C, it's dancing around in your underwear, because why not? D, it's sleeping in because you may or may not have had too much partying last night. E, a good phone chat with a friend. And F, it's waking up to the sound and smell of sizzling fried eggs. Which Friday routine or Saturday routine do you most imagine yourself having? A, B, C, D, or F? Okay, 14, you would die to live on this movie set. Let's brush your movie information. A, American Hustles over ornate 70s ranch house. B, the Grey Gardens house before the raccoons got it. C, Polly's eclectic apartment in Along Came Polly. D, Gatsby's home in the original or the remake. E, that awesome Art Deco beach house in Weekend at Bernie's. F, Jane Adler's gorgeous rustic farmhouse and It's Complicated. Now, if you don't know any of these movies, I would just quickly do a Google search so you get a better visual of them. So which one do you imagine yourself living in? A, B, C, D, E, or F? '15. On Dubizzle or the garage sales, you're probably eyeing this type of object. A, an antler set that you can't wait to hang on your wall. B, a Moroccan wedding blanket, the perfect extra layer for your bed. C, a retro string art, which looks cool in the right color palettes. D, a silky little number and a hot pink maxi dress from the 40s. E, a sleek brass table lamp. F, a linen wingback chair with upholstery in perfect condition. So when you're at garage sales or on Dubizzle or your local second-hand market, which object do you think you would most probably be looking for? A, B, C, D, E, or F? 16. The plant most likely to grow in your living room is A, a tall potted cactus that looks like it's plucked off a ranch. B, a sprawling jungle like fiddle leaf fig. C, a resilient feathery Boston fern. D, who has time to water plants so you don't have any plants at home. E, a neon green trailing ivy plant. F, a classic spiral-shaped cedar topiary. Which one of these plants are you most likely to grow in your living room? 18. You could live by this quote. A, there's nothing like staying at home for real comfort, said Jane Austen. B, as Allen Ginsberg once advised, follow your inner moonlight, don't hide the madness. C, I want to rock and roll at all night and party every day, as Gene Simmons would have us do. D, you're a Marilyn Monroe type of gal, you put it at best. Fear is stupid, so are regrets. E, like David Bowie, you believe, I don't know where I'm going from here, but I promise it won't be boring. F, one is born with good taste. It's very hard to acquire. You can't acquire the patience of taste, as noted by the one and only Diana Vreeland. So which one of these quotes best resembles you? 19, you're ready to start a new collection. You start stocking up on a collection of old paintings, all landscapes of quiet countryside. B, antique Turkish and Moroccan textiles that remind you of your trips there. C, a vintage wicker and rattan basket and accessories. You love the natural color and the textures they bring to your room. D, Luke's lucite accessories or vintage fur. You find them irresistible. E, fun brass objects that bring a little bling home. F, antique plates and teapots. You're always on the search for more of your grandmother's wedding pattern. So which one of these do you feel more like starting a collection of? A, B, C, D, E, or F? And the last question. Long day at work, you order this. A, nothing fancy, a glass of Perrier. B, a citrusy Polynesian juice or whatever comes with an umbrella so you can pretend you are far, far away. C, you make it a Coke, so you're always a sucker for a throwback drink. D, cranberry juice, of course. You know exactly how to order it with ice. E, you don't drink, just plain water is best. F, nothing fancy, a strong tea or a hot cocoa to end the day. So which one of these would you order at a cafe? A, B, C, D, E, or F? Now, I hope you're through your 10 questions, whether 1 to 10 or 11 to 20. Now comes calculating. So to calculate, for questions 1 to 10, give yourself 1 point for each of all the A's you've answered, 2 points for the B's, 3 points for the C's, 4 points for the D's, 5 points for the E's, and 6 points for the F's. And if you've answered questions 11 to 20, give yourself 7 points for each of the A's, 8 points for each of the B's, 9 points for each of the C's, 10 points for the D's, 11 points for the E's, and 12 points for the F's. And then you tally up your points and you will wait for me to tell you your style. So I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes to add up all the scores from your answers so that we can move on to the next bit and learn about your ideal style. So you should be adding up your answers now and getting the scores. Okay, let's move on and find out. Okay, so if you scored between 10 to 19 points, you have a Scandinavian style, interior style. So hello sunshine, you're the nature lover of the minimalist bunch and oh so happy. You celebrate the sun and you open your windows for every chance to bring in the light. You forgo too many accessories because you want it to feel open and fresh, and you're not home much anyways because you're enjoying the outdoors and it's nice and you enjoy keeping active. The Scandinavian style celebrates minimalist decor and functional furnishings with a lot of whites, hits of black, wood tones, and a few pops of color to keep things happy and a touch quirky. Now, I recommend you screenshot this screen to keep note of the Scandinavian style you are, and what you would be looking for is light wood samples like maple, birch, and oak, plastic modern chairs, clean lines, neutral or whitewashed floors, hints of black like we can see in this image. So hints of black, whether it's in the windows or in items, sculptural items, bright, warm color accents, like pinks and oranges, and wintry comforts, so candles, faux furs, uncluttered rooms, so the room's always nicely where everything is in place, and a lot of natural light. So this is the Scandinavian style. So if you are a Scandinavian style, just take note of these items or these points, and we're gonna come back to it as well towards the end. So this is the sort of arrangements that best fits with it. So very like handpicked from nature and very sculptural vases, lots of tulips, and beautiful arrangements. If you scored between 20 and 29, you are a minimalist. So as a minimalist, you think that hoarders might think that you are very uptight and OCD, but you might be the most free of all of your friends, because who needs things? They only get in the way of life that you want to lead. Anything you do bring home involves major consideration. After all, this will take up space, so you tend to collect just the attractive versions of the stuff you need, displayed in a simple, organized way. Minimalist design is stark, clean, and modern. Nothing further can be removed to enhance the design, and the spirit of materials speaks loudly. Great things were born out of minimalism, such as walls coming down between living rooms and kitchens. So all this open plan was actually born out of minimalism. And they create lush open spaces and furniture that looks like modern art. Now, as a minimalist, your go-to quote is less is always more. So think a lot of white surfaces, chrome accessories, streamlined platform beds, so they're lower, modern paneled storage, and spare floating shelves, minimal sculptures, sleek furniture with simple legs, and multifunctional pieces. So anything that plays a dual function falls into the minimalist style. And in terms of arrangements, we're thinking again very minimal. So just a few branches of, pussy willow. It could be some branches of eucalyptus. So very simple branches in simple vases. For the Zen style, you have scored between 30 and 39. In the Zen style, you believe in the flow, and whether you realize it or not, you're always seeking ways to unlock the chi in your rooms. So lighting candles or folding your throw so that its lines perfectly fit on your sofa. Your home is your haven, so just stick with honest, pure basics. Zen is an Eastern approach to decorating, or under-decorating, if you may say, that focuses on the warmth of materials in a minimalist style. These rooms achieve balance, harmony, and relaxation by softening the starkness of minimalism with natural materials, wood accents, and sculptural greenery. So when you think of the items or the furniture that you want to get, think tonal monochromatic color palettes. So the palette is very subdued and neutral. Diffused light, such as from paper lanterns, essential oil burners and natural scents. Solid bedding, rugs, and curtains. Natural materials like sustainable woods and linen. Contrasting textures like a woven basket against a smooth side table. Simple furniture with no to little ornamentation, and indoor plants like terrariums. And I'm going to show you here some examples of Zen sculptural plants or planters or terrariums that you could use in your space if you fall under this category. So very minimalistic and back to the basics type of arrangements. Next style is the contemporary. So if you've scored between 40 to 49 points, you fall under contemporary, and a lot of people fall under this. So you have little use for the past. Instead, you live in the here and the now and look towards the future. But that doesn't mean you're changing your style every 5 minutes. You know that you know what you like and you stick with it. So quiet nights in, clutter-free bookshelves, and casual rooms. The theory is that any current style that doesn't reference the past is contemporary, but conventionally this style is sleek and casual, with nothing that feels too over the top. So skip anything that's too decorative and feminine, but most of all, feel free with yourself, free yourself of any clutter. And with this one, we're going back to basics. So neutral masculine color palettes, color blocking in the accents. So use a lot of colors in your accent accessories, oversized artwork, low simple sofas, glass and marble tables, smart hidden storage behind walls or inside the furniture. So think tables with storage or uh, um, media units with a lot of hidden storage. And then arc lamps that were very in, and chrome or nickel finishes. So all of these fall under the contemporary interior style. And these are some of the arrangements that I feel work best with them. So one type of flowers in a simple, sleek vase, and it could be calla lilies or tulips or hydrangeas. Now, if you scored between 50 and 59 points, you belong to the industrial interior style. And in industrial, you're a tinkerer and enjoy a good DIY, a bit of unrefined with the whole nerd looking thing going on. So never getting enough of building from scratch bikes or record players. You love design in its raw state and its interior still visible so you can figure out how it works. Your dream home would be an abandoned factory loft in Brooklyn with exposed plumbing that matches your shiny Edison light bulbs hanging from simple plug-in cords. You find yourself collecting lots of metals and woods, but never anything too refined or polished. Industrial style is a more masculine look that has made a huge comeback in the last 10 years. Factory carts, typewriter tables, anything that was once utilitarian has become popular furniture in modern homes. Raw, rough surfaces are intentionally left unfinished, and old materials that are transformed into tables or shelving units. Architectural elements throughout the space stay in the view, which can help keep design costs lower. So this is an image from Pinterest that could be closest to the industrial style, you know, with the pipes that are showing and the concrete look. And what's happening here in this look is that it's very hipster. So there's a lot of DIY pipe shelving, chalkboard paints, steel kitchen islands, subway tiles are used, simple pendants with exposed bulbs, rusted architectural wall hangings, metal and leather chairs, and rustic wood. And for this look, I like to match it with, again, you know, air plants that are very low fuss and beautiful. If you scored between 60 to 69 points, you are very mid-century modern, and you would be shopping a lot at West End, for example. So you like your style shaken and not stirred. There's nothing extraneous or frilly about your style. Everything you wear is impeccable, iconic, and always perfectly put together. You know the power of a slim suit or a simple, elegant shift dress, accessorized with a statement necklace and simple heels. You enjoy dressing up for dinner and might even indulge in a Manhattan while cooking. To you, good design is everything, and the death of Steve Jobs was a huge loss. The way he stripped technology down to its most functional state is in beautiful, simple designs was total genius. Still reminiscing over the season finale of Mad Men, then you definitely belong to the style. because now you can bring that spirit of Don Draper into your home. Mid-century modern is all about masculine, sleek, and sexy shapes with a strong retro vibe. This style has emerged in the 1950s and 60s as a rejection of traditionalism's ornamental design and the aristocratic attitude that ruled before World War II. After the war, people were optimistic and wanted a change, and so modern furniture and architecture became more democratic, with pieces scaled back to their most functional, sculptural, and ergonomic shapes. The furniture became lighter with slimmer legs and more versatile, so people could simply live and rearrange it at will, which you will find that the furniture acquired light and easy to move from room to room. Geometric, bold patterns and neutrals with pops of bright colors graced the rooms back then. Now, what you would be looking for is any of these items: tulip or Eames style molded plastic chairs, warm wood finishes like rosewood or teak, geometric patterns. We're talking long, streamlined sofas, so anything between a 3-seater or a 4-seater, long, low dressers or credenzas, so they're unlike the sideboards, they are lower in size and in feel. Bar carts were a big hit back then. Furniture with tapered legs so that the legs become thinner, and chrome and brass accents. So all of these belong to the mid-century modern look. And I like to, contrast them or add to them arrangements and vases that are very sculptural, like the Jonathan Adler ones with baby breath or those yellow little stems and simple flowers, because it really allows the pieces to contrast with them. And these are actually from projects that we've done. Now, if you've scored between 70 to 79 points, you belong to the 70s style. So the 70s style is very chilled out. It has a lot of pop of colors. You are a type of person, you like to express yourself, whether through art, music, or close conversation. Being touchy and feely extends to your home too, so you love the indulgence of fur or faux fur, a shaggy rug, or a super loungy sofa. In the 70s, people were disillusioned with the Vietnam War, and so they turned their attention to themselves and caring for their families. So the items are a lot nature-inspired neutrals mixed with bright technicolors, splashes as patterns become zanier than ever, and you basically wanted to ogle everything in the room. So in these, you would have a lot of groovy wave or floral prints, earthy tones with a dash of red, turquoise, or goldenrod, L-shaped sectionals to create conversation pits, lots of texture, shag, faux fur, felt, and macrame, teak wood, curved chairs like the iconic egg chair or the hanging chairs, and hanging plants and terrariums. And arrangements from the 70s would look something like this. So those patterned vases with a lot of splashes of color, or toned down aninome with little sunflowers or even those little white flowers hanging in them. Now, if you score between 80 to 89 points, you belong to the bohemian interior style. And for a bohemian, you leave no room for fuss or rules because you simply are too busy layering your textiles and making sweet love to your Moroccan poufs. You consider yourself a creative type, so an artist or a writer by profession or just by practice. And your look is usually flowy and easy, layered and casual with global vibe. So because Bohemians have a hard time curtailing their hobbies, multi-purpose decor is a must. So if you want to meditate, you have an oversized pillow. You want to take a walk, you grab a sarong off the sofa. When guests come over, you use your floor pillows, your ottomans, and occasional tables to seat them. And you take an off the beaten earth. So we're talking items that are like worn rugs and upholstery, intricate global patterns from Morocco or India or the Balkans, handmade tribal accents from Africa, indoor hammocks, distressed furniture, hand-dyed linens and fabrics, and we're thinking strong saturated colors on furniture and textiles, a lot of overlaid patterns, duris and puffs, and tropical indoor plants. So everything is layered nicely for that cozy, unpretentious look. And for floral arrangements or plants, we're thinking the bird of paradise plant, for example, and a lot of overlaid greenery, whether it's in an ivy or it is in a fern, a collection of ferns. And they're all sitting together, grouped in a room or in a corner in your space. So lots and lots of greenery. Now, if you scored between 90 to 99 points, you are a modern glam kind of person. And by that, we are thinking Hollywood. To you, all the world is a stage, and we are simply your audience or guests. If someone calls you a drama queen, you take it as a compliment because you are a theatrical glam and larger than life. And so your home should be too. You can't stay away from luxurious throws, bold colors, and ornate patterns. And if given the chance, you would cover your walls with a red lacquer that matches your lipstick. So what are you waiting for? Go for it. Modern glam morphed from Hollywood Regency, which was born out of the 1930s movie sets. And these had to be very loud because they were black and white. So they need to look luxurious enough in these sets. And thanks to the fabulous starlets who brought home the decorating inspiration, the trend had spread quickly. Rich and looks over-exaggerated, heavy, and saturated are key for this style. So the focus is on feminine curves, metallics, luxe finishes, and generally just bling anywhere and everywhere. So for you, life is Hollywood. So we're thinking lacquer walls or even ceilings, plenty of bling from chrome or brass, really big statement mirrors, luxe fabrics, like satin, velvet, and fur, bright graphic wallpapers, and Asian details and motifs like chinoiserie and bamboo. Chandeliers dripping with crystals or brass, velvet ornate furniture, high contrast color palette with lots of jewel tone accents. And for modern glam, we're thinking over the top, looks beautiful flower arrangements in gold or in vases that are made of crystals. So these were some of the arrangements we had done. The ones on the right side for with Ame Studio for a video shoot. And we're talking really beautiful flowers and roses. Now, if you scored between 100 and 109, you belong to the 80s. And you're all about having fun and dancing in the streets. You only live once, so why not? You take risks and you flock towards eccentric shapes and crazy color combos. It wouldn't be unlike you to set a vintage beanbag chair under your Warhol print. And as Andrew in the Breakfast Club reminds us, we're all pretty bizarre. Some of us are just better at hiding it, that's all. While 80s interior design is remembered for so many tacky details like an overkill of mauve and chintz, it also had some fun moments and Art Deco influences that can look youthful, vibrant, and a little out of control in a good way. So it is just another manic decade. We are thinking neon lighting in any color, and we're seeing a big comeback of that as wall art, actually. Glass and brass dining tables or coffee tables, colorful pop-up arts, mirrored furniture, geometric patterns with an Art Deco bent or a scallop or a triangle. We're seeing round arm upholstered furniture, pastel colors, not pastel, pastel colors, and they have a big comeback in these years. And then luxe fabrics like patent leather and plush velvet. And for the 80s, we love colorful arrangements um, in nice colors, or like a pop of a color in a vase with simple flowers. Now, if you scored between 110 to 119 points, you belong to the rustic interior style. And for you, life is simple and you wouldn't want it in any other way. For a natural homebody like you, nothing beats a long hike in the woods followed by a dinner at your reclaimed table with veggies plucked straight from your garden. Country style is set up to feel like home away from home, always cozy, laid back, warm, lived in, and comfortable. Casual patterns like stripes, plaids, checks, and florals are all common in these spaces. It's like the house that Ryan Gosling's character built for Rachel McAdams' character in The Notebook. So it's chock full of romance. And for that style, you have to give it that feeling of relaxation as if you are on a vacation. So any of the furniture has to have aged and beautiful patina, red or blue striped pillows, cotton or linen slipcovers, sofas with deep seats and padded arms for afternoon naps, washed linens, wildflower cuts and arranged in an ironstone pitcher, cast iron or copper accents, pretty old hardbound books, and rustic wood floors. So we're thinking natural colored rustic wood throughout. And for these flowers arrangements, I like to think of that look as if you've just picked it up from your outdoor garden and put it in a simple vase or vessel like these. Now, if you belong to the traditional style, and that's the last style that we have, you have scored between 120 to 129 points. As a traditional, you're like the oldest sibling of all the personalities. You are dependable and an upholder of traditions. You often reminiscence about the past, the way things used to look, because the chaos of the modern world makes you crazy. Instead, you look long for black and white movies, old hardbound books, and rooms softly lit by candlelight. A traditional house is warm and inviting with an air of sophistication. So the set of Downtown Abbey is a very luxe version of what this style used to be. But the house in its complicated is a modern interpretation, and this is called new traditional. So you like things as it always was. So we're thinking Persian rugs, we're thinking wingback chairs, crystal chandeliers, antique tea sets, classic patterns like damask, chinoiserie, or métallisé, tufted headboards, gilded accents, alabaster lamps and marble busts, and oil portraits or landscapes. So things that you would even inherit from your parents or grandparents, or things that you would pick up from traditional homes. This is what the traditional style is all about. So now that we've pinpointed your style and you've written it aside, I'm gonna tell you what style to match that with. So if you have that style, you can add a second style to it to make it even look more interesting. Oh, but before we do that, this is the sort of arrangements I would put for the traditional style. And it's just beautifully gorgeous and almost vintage-like vases that are hand painted. Now, we're gonna be using the style wheel, and this will help you choose looks that mingle well together simply by finding a style's opposite. The wheel progresses from the most scaled back styles like the Scandinavian and the minimalist to the most ornate like the traditional. And now that you know your design personality, find it on the wheel and check out its complement. So basically, if you started out with a Scandinavian look, it is best to match it with a total 70s look, which is on the direct opposite of the style wheel. Or if you had the rustic look, it's nice to introduce a bit or some elements from the industrial look that would look interesting with it. So just like the color wheel, the style wheel will help us choose the looks that mingle well together. And basically, for example, so you could, so if we're looking, for example, at the traditional look with its tufted black chairs and ornate wallpapers, it might be tricky to combine with another very detailed style like the Spanish or the Deco. However, we can balance it with the minimalist elements like the modern century modern, which sits back opposite of the traditional style on the style wheel. For example, a retro slimline sofa with some more traditional floral and French throw pillows. Grab a traditional Persian rug and add a Danish modern armchair. This combo is very unexpected and yet easy for the eye to see. And as you get comfortable with these styles, you can try to add another style until you find the right mix. So you can always go back to find your opposite style and read up more on it and take note of the items that you can mix with it to make it look more interesting in that way. So take note, write your style and write the style that it's best mixed with. And remember, there's no right or wrong. So for example, you can start off with the traditional and accent it with some mid-century items, but you could go left and right as well. So you could introduce maybe a small element from the industrial and another small element from the 70s and try to see what feels right for you. And with that, we have ended our session. I hope you successfully were able to diagnose your style and that you learned a lot about the 12 major interior styles and what elements you can use to achieve them, and then what flowers or plants to complement them with, as well as what style to add to your initial style to make it look a lot more interesting and easy on the eye. My name is Nisrine, and you can keep on following me for design inspiration, tips, and tricks by going to my Instagram account at Harfnoon Design Studio, or even checking the website www.harfnoondesignstudio.com, where you can find a lot of the projects we have worked on and how we have introduced these different styles throughout the different projects. So I am going to say thank you again one more time, and I hope I have successfully helped you today. And I look forward to you engaging with me on my social media. Stay safe and see you soon.